Anar only knows me as anagrams with my screen name. He can't, like, pull the mat out of it.
Slam it to cash.
Slam it to cash.
I like the one where it's alphabetical. It's like,
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to demguyspodcast. We are here today, and up first we have, well, I guess I should say, I am your host, Tristan of the 43. We also have Matt, aka Slash.
Achoo! Oh, I think you missed the shot.
And stepping in for Snowshoe, we have Mr. Anariston.
4! I think that you're supposed to shout. Oh no! I said 4! He's not supposed to get hit in the head with the ball. It's the third time this week. That one time, admittedly, I said 5 instead of 4. I can see how that would be confusing. But hi, I'm Anariston. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Welcome everybody. That intro was because Sarah J.C. I can't even say her name right. Sarah J. MCB requested that we do our next podcast entirely in Golf Whispers.
I would have fallen asleep if you talked like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anyone listening is still awake at this point, although maybe my yelling helped a little bit.
So that's all that you're getting, but
for now.
Okay.
That's creepy.
Let's just say no, I don't know. Go ahead. This is a podcast, right?
It is, yeah.
Some would call it that.
Does it go on iPods? Is that a thing?
It can be played on iPods.
Cool. All right,
with the
I'm
YouTube
down.
App.
In that case, let's continue.
Very good. But yeah, here we go. This is I guess our Christmas edition.
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas.
And this is like the episode after your 1 year anniversary, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, we sandwiched between, because our 1 year anniversary would have been on Thursday, the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an episode on the 3rd. This is on the 17th. So the anniversary was in between the two.
Right.
As a result of being bi-weekly.
Well, I'd like to say I think you're starting off the second year of the podcast really well by replacing Snow with me. That's his Ask FM if you haven't seen it, by the way. It's Snow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's why I call him that. I picked that up from Daughter, and I can't say his name any other way now. I'm sorry. It's just stuck.
In my head, I call him Snowshoe.
It's like what is that? The really big shoe. What is that? Letterman?
Don't get the reference. Sorry.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm old. You're older than me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't watch Letterman, though. So if it was a Letterman reference, I wouldn't get it.
It's probably not Letterman. I'm probably just saying the wrong name. But it's one of those late show host guys.
Okay.
And he would say really big show, but say like shoe. So that's the Snoo shoe.
I can tell you it's not Jimmy Fallon, other than that.
No. Definitely not. I hope not. Or I'm really confused. So do you call him Snoo? Like, what is it? Snoo-shoe?
Snowshoe.
Snoo's that Futurama thing. You don't want that.
Oh, man.
But you call him that to his face, or, his ears?
No,
podcast face?
Just mentally, I call him that.
Does he know?
Yeah. And now
he
podcast.
knows.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter, because he's not here anymore.
Yep. All me all the time.
You'll have to let us know, listenership, how Anar is doing with the replacement of Snowshoe for this episode.
I can spell words. I can read questions. I can do everything he does.
And here is his first real test.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. You will be letting us know your opinion via our email address, which is demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
That's DEMGUYSPODCAST@gmail.com.
Interesting. Putting his own spin on it.
Hey, I gotta spell how I gotta spell, man. I just gotta do what I do.
Indeed. And we're also on Twitter @demguyspodcast.
It's spelled the same way. It's @ that's not AT, that's an @ symbol. It's over your 2 if you're in America. Or probably most places. I don't know how keyboards work. Then DEMGUYSPODCAST.
Masterful. Golf clap for you.
Golf whispers and golf claps. It's all the golf podcast this time. Do you guys play golf? Ever played golf? I've never played golf. I played putt-putt.
I have played golf.
Yeah, I played
I prefer miniature golf to real golf. But I have played. I've never played on an actual course. They taught it in gym class in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and I played a little bit there, just practicing chip shots and stuff like that.
So, like, did you have a course at your school, or did you go somewhere else for it? Or
No, we would go out in the yard, basically.
Oh, okay.
Like one of the the green areas of the
and try not to
school,
hit cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Features.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was homeschooled. I don't think my mom would have appreciated me playing golf.
You didn't have like the little putting green, the little turf thing, or like a cup.
Oh, yeah.
No golf in the house. I have to tell you every time.
I just imagine windows shattering all over the place.
Yeah.
It's all boards now. You don't even bother replacing the windows anymore. The neighbors start
wood
asking
holds up
questions.
better.
Yeah.
Christmas episode of the podcast, because we are, again, sort of oddly straddling Christmas with our episodes. In fact, I'm not even sure what our episode schedule is around the holidays, but we would not be scheduled to have an episode on Christmas Eve, which would be the next possible Wednesday. So maybe we'll have one New Year's Eve, maybe not, I don't know. But just in case, we're going to talk about Christmassy stuff. This episode is our Christmas episode, Christmas edition.
Yay.
Christmas.
Christmas.
I feel like we should say Christmas some more, just in case people don't get the idea.
Yeah,
it is
I've
Christmas.
gotten the point across.
It's not holidays. It's none of that. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas.
So
yeah.
I don't know why I thought of this earlier, but I was thinking about the fact that it was Christmas
Christmas?
like, really, really soon. And I was excited, I was thinking I should probably wrap some presents because I'm going to have to give some out before Christmas when I see people.
Christmas.
Yeah. But I don't know why this came to my head, but I was just thinking, what if there was a song called The Christmas Rap? And
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And the the artist that I came up with was Santa, and Santa is spelled with a $.
Of course.
Nice.
Santa and the Three Hoes.
Works.
Wow. You know what? I would be very disappointed if such a thing didn't already exist somewhere.
I hope it does, and I hope it's the next Christmas #1 single. I don't know if is that a big thing in the States? I forget. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know me, I don't live in America. I live in the UK right now, but I'm from Ireland originally. So
As
I'm
you
not
can
actually
tell by his accent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Clearly. No, I lived in Florida for 10 years. So, American citizen, Irish citizen, American accent, and in the UK. Don't think about it too hard, your brain will explode.
Yeah.
Are Christmas #1 singles a big thing in the US? I know they are in the UK, it's a big deal every year. What's the Christmas #1 single going to be? And it's all these cheesy Christmas songs people put out so they can be the Christmas #1 and make a ton of money. Is that a thing?
I don't think so. That doesn't seem like a thing that we've been concerned about. I mean, different pop artists and stuff will try to put out Christmas albums.
Mm-hmm.
You always have some pop artist putting out some new interpretation of a Christmas classic.
Like a collaboration with Michael Bublé
year.
kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Which would be one way to guarantee I wouldn't listen to it. It's very rare that you end up getting... I think it's very rare that you end up getting new Christmas songs that are worth listening to at all.
Right.
The ones where it's original content. And then even more rare is people's interpretations of the classics that actually turn out to be worth listening to as opposed to just listening to the classic version.
So where on that spectrum would something by Dollar Santa and the Three Hoes fall? Am I pronouncing that right? Dollar Santa? Dollar Anta? You just say Santa.
I think you just say Santa. Maybe you don't pronounce it. Maybe it's when it was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Oh, that symbol is the first letter of Santa.
Yeah, the gift giver formerly known as Santa.
The cat burglar formerly known as the guy who came down your chimney.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would rank very high on my list of Christmas music.
You don't want to hear a Christmas rap?
Well, I was gonna say I don't think it would either, except that I enjoyed the song "Ludachristmas" from Fred Claus.
I haven't heard
that one.
You guys should go look it up. It's pretty good.
Well, let's just pause everything. We have to hear this.
My favorite, one of my favorite Christmas songs is, you've heard of the 12 Days of Christmas. Well, they had done a version years ago called the 12 Pains of Christmas. where they go through all the different things that are annoying about Christmas time.
Mhm.
Like, getting together with the in-laws is one of the things, and I think the second pain of Christmas is putting up the lights. And because it happens so early in the song, the guy gets increasingly more aggravated with the lights throughout, and
Right.
eventually, like, the lyrics change. Like, he no longer is, like, putting up the lights. He'll be like, why are they blinking? When his turn comes around. So I rather enjoy that one.
There are a lot of great versions of that song.
The worst thing about lights is putting them up all along the house and then finding out the wrong end.
Oh, that would be really bad. Oh, the plug's at that end.
Yeah, the female.
That's why I
female.
plug them in first.
See, you're smart. Not everyone's smart like you.
It's true. I agree completely.
Because then you just have, like, strings of little glass plastic things all along your house that don't turn on ever.
The worst part about lights really is putting them away neatly and then getting them out next season and they're all tangled up.
I bet there's an infomercial designed just for you.
Probably.
Like, why can't I put these lights together? You know, those, like, really bad actors trying to show you how they can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's your new...
Including
I'm
acting.
totally incompetent at this. Perfectly mundane task. I need a product to help me with it.
And then, like, suddenly the nice music starts playing and it's in color.
Yeah. Do you ever see, there was an infomercial years ago for the Sonic Blade, I think
That
it was
sounds
called.
safe.
It was like a serrated knife that like vibrated back and forth.
Yeah, super
to
safe.
make it easier to cut through stuff, right?
It's a chainsaw, basically.
Basically, it was a chainsaw, yeah. It was like a little hand, like electric saw. But the thing that I love the most about it is that they were trying to demonstrate how hard it is to cut stuff with a regular knife.
Oh.
So they had a big, like triple-decker sandwich that they were trying to cut through, right? And they start cutting through it with a regular knife, and they're doing a fine job of it. Like, they're getting through, and they get, like, maybe a quarter of the way through the sandwich, and then all of a sudden, the guy starts swinging the knife, like, wiggling it back and forth inside the sandwich so that it would make a mess. It was the most blatantly obvious, like, made-up thing that I have ever seen in an infomercial, and that's saying something.
That's pretty awesome.
My wife and I are always we are always making fun of that commercial or that infomercial.
There's on Reddit there's a whole subreddit just dedicated to GIFs of that exact thing happening in infomercials. It's called reddit.com/r/where did the soda go? And I guess the name is after, like, oh, where did the soda go? You know, like this person being so amazed that they can't find their soda, and then it's like a product that, you know, I don't know, finds their soda for them, or they keeps it in a nice place, like a cup holder or something like that. But if anybody's interested in seeing more of these things, the one you mentioned is probably on there somewhere, then that is the place for you.
The very first link I clicked on in that subreddit is of a guy with a food processor, right, with the lid on, so it's the chute, right, that you're supposed to feed small things through.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get a head of cabbage through it using a sledgehammer. And the link is entitled, "Yes, that's how it's done."
Yep, that's definitely how it's done.
Oh, man.
That's beautiful.
I'm probably going to waste the rest of the night watching those after the podcast.
I'm going to do it during the... That is amazing. No, I look at this every time I'm feeling down. What?
You'll get some gift ideas from that Reddit. You'll be like, I want that product. They have sold me on this idea.
Oh, man. I could get lost in that subreddit, though. It's too beautiful. There's another one that's like a counterpart to it of things like working properly immediately or something. What is it? I don't know. I should have not started talking about that without knowing what I was talking about. I should, get some kind of product that would help me with that. See there? Where I pretended my incompetence was really just a reference to the whole thing we're talking about? That was good.
That was clever. I'm sure nobody caught on.
Nope.
Yep.
You know what product would be nice that would probably help me? Something to keep me on track of what I'm supposed to be doing. Because, earlier... okay, so
like something
today,
that would yell at you if you stopped doing it? Like, to keep you focused?
Maybe.
Or like...
Maybe, I don't know. But earlier today, so first of all, I played video games for way too long this morning.
Sure.
I had stuff to do. And so finally I got around to doing some stuff, which was editing for work. And then when I was done that, I went and I got my car, which was, well, someone took me to get my car because it had been getting worked on. So that was all stuff that I had to do. Then when I came home, I was like, okay, this is one of my few free days. I'm going to try to get a bunch of Christmas wrapping done. And that's when the whole Santa and the Three Hoes came up. But,
right.
But so I was thinking about that. I'm like, I need to get my Christmas wrapping done. Well, my brother is catching up on Doctor Who, and he was just watching The Day of the Doctor. And I'm like, it's such a good episode. And so I sat down and watched it with him, and I didn't get any Christmas wrapping done.
So you need like an app on your phone that will like somehow detect you're not wrapping presents to yell at you and be like, go wrap your presents.
Yeah, like I'll type in like, I need to do these things today before this happens.
And
so,
if I don't tick off, I've done this thing, give me an electric shock. Like one of those dog collars that like when they bark, it shocks them.
Yeah, I would love to see that. There was an episode, you guys know the show Cheers?
Yeah.
Yes. So there was an episode of Cheers once where, what was the guy's name?
Norm?
Not Norm,
okay.
but Cliff.
Yeah.
Cliff was trying to break himself of...
Was he the mailman?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
of making sarcastic remarks.
Uh-huh.
And so he hooked himself up with a remote activated like shocking system and hired a guy that would watch and listen in on the conversations that he was having and zap him if he was sarcastic. And of course it all goes haywire, like the guy's zapping him for stuff that he shouldn't be zapping him for.
I was gonna say, like, is at some point like he's trying to say something sincerely, but his tone of voice is just off and he seems sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I meant that.
Yeah, and then it like chains. It's like, no, you didn't. Yes,
that's the perfect sitcom conclusion, is when something goes wrong a little bit and then goes wrong more and more and more and more. Like that's the perfect example of the lights are blanking thing. It's just the progression is slowly getting worse. Oh, speaking of Christmas songs,
you need one of those things. That's what you need.
Yeah. Do you remember that Christmas song was like in maybe the 90s? It was like Grandma got knocked over by a reindeer.
Yeah.
Got run over.
Yeah, that makes much more sense. That's definitely correct. And I'm not being sarcastic, so don't shock me. Yeah, that's like the one song that I can think of that's like, not a traditional song, but still like seemed to get a lot of popularity just because it was funny.
Yeah,
I think it was funny. Was it funny? I think I remember it being funny.
Yeah.
I know it was supposed to be funny, but I don't remember if it was actually funny.
It's all right.
It depends on your sense of humor.
Like, how far can you take that? Like, how many verses can you have? Like, Grandma was killed. Let's make it funny now, because Santa did it. Ha ha ha. Santa with a $sign ran over my grandma.
I had a whole new interpretation of that.
Oh, really?
That I saw on Tumblr the other day. Do either of you watch the show Supernatural?
No. I think I've seen one episode of that.
In Supernatural, they're traveling the countryside and they hunt down supernatural things.
They're like, it's a family or two brothers and...
Exactly, and these if they find ghosts and ghouls and
right.
vampires and all that sort of supernatural stuff, and they take them out so that they can't hurt people anymore.
Sure,
but there's always some sort of premise, and there's like local lore associated with the stuff.
Okay,
and so usually towards the beginning of the episode, they'll be like, "Okay, so check this out. Here's the story, right?" And it turns out that this is why this is a story locally, and that's why this haunting is happening or whatever.
Right.
Well, on Tumblr, somebody had posted, Grandma's gotten run over by a reindeer every year since 1979, and I'm starting to think it's not a coincidence. And then they post a picture of one of the guys from Supernatural going over like connecting all the dots, on the wall, and going, so get this, that Christmas song? ...
That leads into an episode from there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, Grandma got knocked over run over by a reindeer. It's like, but Grandma's been dead for 20 years. We've gone back in time now to Halloween to ghost stories.
Oh, man. I lucked out with Christmas this year, though, I gotta say. In terms of the gift-giving thing, I myself was only responsible for... in terms of making sure what gifts I had to get, the only gift I had to get was a gift for my wife from my kids. That was it this year. My wife took care of everything else.
Were the kids aware of the situation?
Yeah, they're aware, and they made their selection and everything, and that's.
Oh, so they pick it and you go buy it? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But, I didn't have to worry about, getting gifts for anybody else.
Right.
My wife handled getting gifts for the grandparents and, the nieces and nephews and all of that stuff. So that's pretty That's pretty handy. That's one reason that I enjoy being married. Less Christmas shopping for me to do each year.
Would you say it's in the top 10 of reasons?
Possibly.
Does your wife listen a lot to the podcast?
No.
Okay.
She used to, but she doesn't have time now. We have 3 kids. You kidding me? One of them's a 10-month-old. There's no time for doing anything.
Man, I'm the worst at buying presents. Like, you just tell me what you want and I'll get it, but if I have to pick something, I'm like, no, you have one of those already. Oh, I don't know. And I just can't do it. I'm so bad. Usually I get some help though. So it works out. But, yeah, that's why I'm not getting you guys anything. Except for
fine.
my presence on your lovely podcast. That's my gift to you. Merry Christmas.
Your present is your presence.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna write that in the card. You're not getting the card. If I whisper, only you guys can hear it, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay.
And do you watch Doctor Who at all?
I watched like maybe 6 episodes when they had Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor. He was like the 9th, and then I watched I think probably most of the David Tennant stuff.
Okay. So did you see the episode where the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, had taken Rose to the future to witness the destruction of Earth at the end of its
were
lifetime?
they in a space station?
They were in a space station, and these like tree people show up with gifts. And not having anything, the Doctor goes, "I give you air from my lungs."
Are these the trees that are like actual Christmas trees?
They weren't.
That's a different
Christmas
episode,
trees,
isn't it?
I don't think.
There's an episode where Christmas trees attack. That's a different Christmas episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's different.
I give you carbon dioxide.
Exactly.
Respirate.
It's like
this.
when I don't have a gift, that is my gift to you.
Take
the
this-
air from my lungs.
Take this into your stomata. Create sugars and live.
That sounds dirty.
Hey man, it's plant stuff. You gotta roll with it when you're in the plant world. It's like when in Rome. When in the garden, do as the plants do.
Well, what about you, Drew? How has your Christmas shopping been this year?
This was the first time that I've had like a job the whole year leading up to Christmas. For the last however many years, I've just had a seasonal job. So, I felt...
So the gifts from you are extra expensive this year, is what I'm hearing.
Lots of gift cards.
I may have spent more money than I intended to this year.
To be young with disposable income.
You're like not used to having that amount of money, so you're like spending like in a kind of a different mindset when you don't really realize what you're doing.
And I may have also, I did a lot of my Christmas shopping before Black Friday. So when I don't remember if I talked about this in the last episode, but
you talked about Black Friday. You spent more than you made working.
That's actually not true. I got my paycheck since then. Well, yeah, I spent more than I made just for the day of Black Friday, but that paycheck that came after Black Friday was very nice. But yeah, so I bought myself. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a Christmas present for myself. So not only did I buy a TV on Black Friday, but I also, since then, which this definitely I didn't talk about on the last podcast, I bought a 3DS XL.
Nice. Is it like a Zelda one or anything special? Or?
No, just a regular one, but it was like $100 off. So it's still over $100, but...
Man, I want to play a few of those 3DS games, but I haven't picked one up yet. I want to play that Link Between Worlds.
I can't play the handheld Zelda games. Like, I like the console, the 3D aspect. I've tried playing the handheld. Like
Phantom,
kind of
what is it?
Style.
Phantom Hour. Yeah, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I like those.
I played Phantom Hourglass because I had just a plain DS or whatever before the 3D stuff started coming out.
That's what I have,
And I played Phantom Hourglass there, but there were certain points. I enjoyed it. Overall, I thought it was a fun game, but there were certain points where it's like, what am I supposed to do right now?
Yeah.
And it turned out every time you got to that point, the answer was some gimmicky DS thing.
Oh, right. Like blow this dust off the map.
Blow really hard, into the speaker, or shout to scare something, or close it to make an impression of the map.
I liked that. I thought that was a really cool idea.
It's cute, but I wouldn't.
Did you get stuck for like hours on that, or is that where the frustration comes from?
Well, no, it's not I wasn't stuck for a long time. I had to look up the close and reopen thing because it wasn't Well, it might not have been that one. It might have been one of the other ones. But one of the other gimmicky things, I know I had to actually look it up to know what the heck they were talking about. And then whenever I read it, I was like, this is not intuitive to me because I am immersed in the game world.
I suppose so.
I am Link right now in the screen.
I'm not
I
a
don't
person
have a
holding
DS,
a DS
to close and open.
Right.
You know?
But then it's like when fairies talk to you and say press B, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Like,
That
what's a
always
B
takes
button?
me-
Sometimes they would, in what do you call it? TV shows or movies, whatever they call it, hanging a lampshade on something. Do you know that term?
Yeah, lampshading it, yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows that though, but like it's like you point it out so it's not ridiculous anymore. So like they'll say the character will be like, well, I don't know what a B button is, but okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard, I don't actually have any games for my DS yet. I'm asking for those for Christmas. I feel like I've spent enough money on myself. But one of the games
So wait, you bought yourself the DS but no games?
Correct.
Okay, good job.
He's just gonna stare at it in
It's
its
the gift of the
packaging.
Magi. It's like you buy someone a 3DS, but they sell their hair so they can buy you games. Something like that. They sell their power cord or something. I don't know. Something that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the games I want is Pokemon Y.
Why?
And one of my
You tell us why.
one of my friends.
Why are you asking us why?
There are a lot of interesting ways for Pokemon to evolve in that game besides just getting level. And some of it is like it has to be in a certain situation. Some of it is like in real life.
You have to close the screen and open it again.
Well, one of them actually it doesn't evolve unless you turn the DS upside down. That's
Okay.
I don't know which one it is, but
Is
one
it
of my
probably like a
friends told
bat
me
or
that.
something? Like it can't breed upright; it has to hang upside down or something.
I
don't know.
don't think there's any logic to it. I think it's just that was Nintendo's reason.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure like the game would tell you that you need to do that, right? It's not just something you have to figure out by yourself.
No,
like
you have
in-
to figure a lot of that stuff out. It
Oh,
doesn't
really?
usually tell you how a certain type of Pokemon evolves. A lot
This is
of
the
it,
crap I'm talking about.
yeah. No, Nintendo just does this stuff, and like there's like tons of like I would have to go to Bulbapedia for that because I haven't been playing Pokemon all my life.
Yeah. Well, it's Nintendo does. We've created a hardware platform that has these features.
Right.
Now, use them in your game. It's a solution in search of a problem.
Well, particularly like in the Nintendo licensed franchises, they'll have that a lot because they'll know that maybe third-party companies won't be using them because they don't see a need to, probably.
yeah,
in some
exactly.
cases. It's like, hey, look at this cool thing that you can do with our system.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my favorite DS games, though, is like, what's it called? It's just Metroid Prime Pinball. Any genre that you can combine with pinball, I am down. I had the Pokemon pinball, the Kirby pinball. Man, if they made like a Game Boy camera pinball, I would play that. Sadly, they never did.
Did you see Generic B had done a brief series of a pinball game RPG?
Yeah, what was that called? Oh man, tip of my tongue.
Oh, it's not coming to me now.
Rogue something.
Yeah.
Rollers of Fate. It's like Roller of something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a pinball RPG.
How does that work?
It's the balls. The balls themselves actually are the different members of the party, and it's actually very clever. You would have to check it out. It's hard to describe, and any description that I could give it would make it sound far more lame than it actually is. They actually do a very good job of making it.
Well, yeah, like
be-
every area of the like RPG world is a different table, and you can go between different like areas of a table, and that's like something you can do with digital pinball that would never have worked in pinball tables. Is changing the environment so quickly like that. But you like basically combat is carried out by just whacking your ball into enemies, and if you hit them on the back or like on the top of them because they're always facing down towards the sewer, that does like double damage or something. And then there's mana, so there's different spells like you can shield the sewer, or you can like revive one of your lost party who would like fell into it. And yeah, it's got some good. I think it's still in development actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I would play it, but it looks neat because I don't know if RPGs are totally my thing. But the pinball is, but I don't know if that's enough. I know we started that conversation by saying, take any genre and putting pinball in it. I may have lied.
Yeah, well, I just disproved it now, didn't I?
I really have to know what that game is called now.
You know what would make an interesting mashup with pinball that I don't know how in the heck you would implement it? Minecraft Ultra Hardcore Pinball.
Oh my god.
Get Seth Bling on it immediately.
I can imagine a pinball game where you have to like hit around and like collect iron ore and then get an apple after mining gold and all that stuff. Like you can, there's certain things you have to do in certain orders that you could kind of maneuver into a pinball environment, but that's probably as far as that goes.
But I want to play it in Minecraft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Seth Bling.
Exactly.
Hey,
Seth Bling on this.
Get over here. It's called Rollers of the Realm, if anyone was wondering.
Rollers of the Realm, that's right.
I was wondering. Thank you.
There you go.
So, yeah, UHC.
Speaking of UHC.
Speaking of.
I totally missed your segue
UHC.
attempt there. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm new to this.
Mindcrack UHC Season 19 is upon us. What are we 4 or 5 episodes in at this point?
By the time the podcast is out, there will be 5 out.
Right.
True.
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. But yeah, it's an interesting concept this season. They've got 2 teams spread out across the map.
2 teams of 10.
2 teams of 10, yeah. It's like Armies. So I've been wanting to see this style for like 10 seasons now, I think.
So has Good.
Yeah.
He mentioned that, it's not a spoiler, he mentioned that he was looking forward to it. And, I think it's working pretty well.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I'm a little bit behind, but I think I've saw the first 2 episodes so far. So I think as of recording, I'm 2 episodes behind. But,
if you didn't mention it, the Mumble plugin is how they're finding each other. No communication, like, in the chat or anything. They just have to hope they run into someone who isn't on the other team.
Yeah, I love that. I haven't watched too many perspectives. I don't feel like I need to, like, even though for the most part they're all spread out at the beginning anyway.
You get most of the story from a few.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like kind of watching it not for commentary, but to to see what the actual events of the game are, you probably get it covered like from maybe 3 from each team or so at most.
Yeah. There are 2 perspectives that I would recommend to anyone who either just hasn't watched them yet or hasn't started watching UHC at all.
I'm going to guess one is Co-Star.
Yes. Co-Star had the I don't think anyone else's commentary could beat that. And I don't think it's a spoiler because it's from the beginning.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
Basically what happened with Co is right after they did their intro, like when they actually started playing, something happened with his mic where it was no longer, his voice was no longer going through it. So not only did it not record his voice, the other players couldn't hear him.
But his microphone pops because it was so broken. It made like, I don't know if that's a compression thing, but it just popped every now and then. And he couldn't hear it himself then, but other people could hear it over the mumble.
Right.
So
he has no idea no one can hear him.
Yeah.
But what he did was he did post-commentary. And his post-commentary, I love Co-Star's personality.
Hilarious. Yeah, totally. He's what got me into even watching Minecraft Let's Plays or playing Minecraft in the first place. Like his series way back when. I was like, this looks enjoyable. This guy's making this look like a cool thing.
Well, I'm not one of the people who watched Co originally. And like, I didn't start watching him until he joined them in playing like the Gary's Mod stuff.
Right.
But now I watch, like, I love his, like, I watch his perspective in Trouble in Terrorist Town because his strategies and, like, just, like, there are some episodes where he's completely silent, and I'm like, I wish he would talk more because I love his personality. Yeah. But when he's silent, you just see what he's doing in the game, and it's still hilarious.
I feel like if you have someone like you who's like just seen him like in the group scenarios and everything, if you went back and watched his like original, not even just from the beginning, but like any point of his original single player Let's Play, you'd be like, is this the same guy? Because he's like totally chill and like, let's go and build a thing now. And like, oh, I guess this is happening. There's like, the same personality is there, but it doesn't have the group dynamics. So it's like not as, I guess, animated and like less hilarious, but still like just really chill and enjoyable and everything. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people think of him like that haven't seen that and go back and check it out. So check it out and let me know. You, Drew, I mean, specifically.
Oh, okay. I will.
I'm not issuing like a call out to all your listeners like to go do that thing. Because I'm not giving them my contact details first of all.
Well, they can leave a comment.
That's true. Leave comments under the things and in the YouTubes. And send emails to demguyspodcast@gmail.com. I can spell it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'm reading off a card.
Which is really funny because the Google Doc is right there. The other perspective I would recommend is MC Gamer. And his commentary is hilarious, mainly because while playing, he is using an Oculus Rift.
Yes.
And
it's glorious.
That just, yeah, it's so amazing. The way he has it set up apparently is the plugin that makes it so you're actually like sort of in the 3D world, and so like when you look left, your character looks left, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That didn't work with the Mumble plugin.
Right.
So what he has it is basically like he has a screen really up close to his face. So like to look down at his toolbar, he has to actually look down. To see what he has in his hand, he has to look to the right, that kind of thing.
And isn't it like the chat is just unreadable for him, so he can't tell when people are dead or anything, because like it's not only far away, but really small in scale of like the GUI on the screen. That's gotta be hard. But it leads to some very entertaining commentary for sure.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's so many awesome and hilarious things that have happened in his perspective. And I just want to know, have you seen the most recent episode? Episode 4?
I skipped through MCs just to see some of these moments, because I knew something was brewing. So I wanted to see like the general like gist of that. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing yet, though.
Just the end of MC's episode 4 is amazing, and like I'm just like, I can't believe I'm watching this and it's working.
Right.
So
yeah, you'd think it would be unplayable at that point. Like the ability to judge like distances the same way you normally do.
Yeah.
And things like that you think would just be, unplayable, but he's managing it, and it's pretty entertaining. Pretty good.
Well, speaking of battles and combat and stuff,
stuff and things.
There's a new movie that comes out this week. It's actually already out by the time the podcast is out. I actually saw some theaters that had showings like today while we're recording.
Huh.
So, the Army of the Battle Hobbits is out.
The 5, the Army of the Battle Hobbits. Coming soon to theaters near you. And also already out in some theaters that might not be near you. What?
Rearranged, that is The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh, that sounds less interesting.
Yeah, it's not that great of a title.
I mean, Battle Hobbits? Can you imagine if the Hobbits like organized the militia to actually fight?
They did in the books.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Are they one of the 5 armies and I'm just totally ignorant?
No, in The Lord of the Rings, at the end of Return of the King, the Hobbits return to the Shire, and Saruman like went to the Shire and like took over and is like enslaved.
Well, he
the
is
Hobbits.
Like 5 times their size. I mean, he's like a giant.
So
and a wizard.
So then the Hobbits like form this like underground resistance type thing.
Oh wow!
And like fight back, and this is because they've gone through all this stuff with the ring and everything, so they know how to fight. So it's like Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin are like the 4 generals or whatever.
Oh man, okay, I might need to go and read that.
That's one of my favorite parts of the book.
I'm just gonna skip to the end and read that part. I've seen the movie. I know what happens. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get to the Hobbit, the Battle Hobbits.
The Battle Hobbits.
Oh man, they just like run up and attack his ankles or something.
Yeah, we were, in terms of the Hobbit movie, we were thinking about going to see it in IMAX on the 23rd. I think there's a showing somewhere in IMAX.
Is that 3D or just IMAX?
It might have been, actually. I don't know. But we don't. Turns out we're not available to go see it that day, so I don't know when we're going to see it. It's tough. Like, my wife and I definitely want to go see that in the theaters, but finding time, especially around the holidays where we can just dump off the kids and go watch a movie, is pretty difficult.
It's not exactly a Christmas movie that you would bring the kids to.
Well, no, not exactly, especially not at their age.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really take the kids to the movies very much at all. We take them to like the dollar theater,
right,
to see stuff when it's in there, because if something happens, a temper tantrum or whatever, we can just brush it off and leave. But to go pay $12 or $15 or whatever the heck it is nowadays for a ticket for a matinee, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I just saw the second Hobbit movie the other day, actually, like for the first time. And mostly that was because, like, not even just, like, preparation for the new movie, because I don't know if I'm going to see it in a theater. I might just wait again, because I'm not, like, super fan or anything, as you could tell by me not knowing the ending of that book. Or, I mean, I know that's, the Lord of the Rings, not the Hobbit. But, I watched it probably mainly because they had Smaug as a guest on the Colbert Report, which was the funniest thing I've seen lately.
I've heard about this. I have not watched that video yet, but I did hear about it.
It's great. You can find it on YouTube, actually. Like, maybe the quality isn't the best, but like they put the full CGI like effect into it, and it's pretty impressive.
That's awesome. For half a second, I thought you were getting confused. I thought you just meant Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh no, he did the voice for it and everything. Like after like the segment, they had Stephen Colbert like read a list of people, like Smaug's handlers, like his entourage kind of thing. Like you started with Benedict Cumberbatch, then Peter Jackson, and then like all the guys and girls who did the CGI stuff, and it's like a list of 50 people, and he's like reading it off this card, and he's like mispronouncing half of the names, but it's still great.
It's awesome.
But it's like a funny interview, and the CGI is amazing, and Cumberbatch doing the voice, always impressive.
Yeah.
And not quite the same level of vocal, what's the word, mauling, I guess, as they did with the Batman movies, like the Bane voice change and the I'm Batman, the really deepening of that. So they did a good job, and I think I would like to see this new one sometime.
Yeah.
You guys want to take me to the movies? You guys want to buy me a transatlantic flight and take me to the movies?
Do you want to come see it with me? I mean, you'd have to pay for the flight, but I'll pay for the movie ticket.
Oh, they're about the same. Unless we go to that dollar theater. I don't want to be shortchanged here. We're going to the best theater in the world if I'm flying there. I'm talking massages during the whole movie. It's going to be great.
I'm actually going to see it later tonight after the podcast comes out.
Really?
I'm going to see it. Well, so my Wednesday is I have to work from 8 a.m. to 4:30, and then I have like an hour and a half to kill, which includes eating dinner. And then I go, like, I don't have time to go home because, there's just, it's too far of a distance. So I stay out by work and I eat dinner and everything. And then at 6, I go over to my friends and we all play D&D. So after D&D on Wednesday night, we're going to go to see it at the movie. So
dinner, D&D, and a movie.
Yes.
Date nights have changed.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going with a bunch of D&D guys, are y'all gonna dress up?
No.
You're not the crowd that dresses up.
Yeah.
Like, when the Star Wars guys dressed up as, like, stormtroopers and everything. I don't know. Who can be comfortable for, like, a 2.5 hour movie sitting in a stormtrooper suit?
Yeah, I know.
I did actually see, so I've gone to the midnight release of both of the first 2 Hobbit movies.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, we went, and it was like huge lines and really packed. And we did see people like dressed with like elven cloaks and like elf ears and everything.
Right. Those were actual elves.
Oh. Okay.
That's offensive that you just said that they were dressed like elves. I mean, come on.
How else did you expect elves to dress, man?
You want them to unpoint their ears just for you? That's just insensitive.
But the second time when we went to see the second movie at the midnight release, we got there, we expected it to be basically the same thing. And I mean, it was a different theater we were going to, but still, we expected it to be like,
was it the dollar
huge
theater?
Lines, like way out. So we showed up and we're like, wow, there's no lines. I guess we're a little bit early. So we got there at like 9 for the midnight release.
Wow.
And we like got our tickets and everything, and then we were gonna go in, and they kind of looked at us like, what are you doing? And we're like, well, can we go in? And they're like, I mean, you can, but it's 3 hours till the movie starts.
Like, there's another movie playing in that room right now. You gotta wait. Like, you could bring a tent to camp out in.
There wasn't at the time, but they were just like, and we're like, well, we want to have, like, we don't want to have bad seats or whatever. They're like, you guys are one of like, or you guys are like a few of maybe 50 people who have reserved tickets. So they're like, we don't expect it to be like completely packed. And it wasn't. It was like maybe half the seats in the theater were filled. So
I wonder if it was a different theater, or if it's just like the whole thing of people not going opening night anymore. That whole, like, no one wants to go through that.
I think it might have been the theater, but I think it also partially was. I know a lot of people who felt disappointed with the first movie. I loved it, but I agree that it wasn't the same feel as the original Lord of the Rings. It was more of a fun movie than like an epic movie, in my opinion.
Like that's like a comparison you could make between the Lord of the Rings book and the Hobbit book, though, at the same time. Like, it's a different kind of, it's not the same heaviness.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I've read the Lord of the Rings book, but I know a few things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand being disappointed anyway with the first one. Yeah.
I loved it. I was actually more disappointed with the second one, honestly. So
what disappointed
you? Yeah, it's
you
hard
about
to
the
judge
second
the second one because it's the middle act. You know,
yeah, I suppose.
It's difficult. I can only think of one movie in the history of everything that ever worked better, like was the best as the middle act, and that's Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Any other movie that's like the middle act of a 3-part show tends not to do all that well.
Gee, and I was so sure you were going to say The Matrix.
All right, since we're on this topic, before we move on, I want to mention, or I want to ask you guys if you have ever watched from the Screen Junkies YouTube channel, honest movie trailers.
Yes, I've seen a few of those,
I've seen some.
Oh my gosh, I binge watched a bunch of them the other day because they are just absolutely hysterical, some of the comments that they make during these, especially because they'll take suggestions from people which movies to do. So they're not always just the latest movies. They'll do
Jaws.
They'll do some. Well, they did like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the one from like 1990.
Which one is that? The one where they go to China or something, like time traveling?
No, it was the Secret of the Ooze.
Oh yeah.
So they did a review of that one, and they took jabs at some of the stuff that's, you know, the more recent Turtles stuff that has come out,
right,
as part of that trailer. But they're concentrating on Secret of the Ooze. And they did Dragon Ball Evolution, which was the worst movie I think I've ever seen. You know, adaptation from a cartoon or anime, and that was pretty hysterical. They did Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was also very one of my favorite parts of that. Well, actually, I'll have to let you just go watch that. I don't want to ruin that for you.
I don't think I've ever seen the actual trailer for that movie. I just heard such terrible things so quickly.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I never watched the movie. I never watched the original trailer for the movie. But I have a friend of mine who's a big fan of the show.
Saw the movie, died.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, he comes out of that and he's like, I have no idea what the heck they were doing with this.
I don't know, it's tough to make an adaptation of something starring kids. I mean, it's got to take some balls to even try that.
Yeah, but, like, it just amazes me how poorly they can adapt the source material. Like, you're making this movie because people like the show. Make a movie that feels like the show. Don't take it in your own direction.
I think what goes wrong is they want to make a movie that everyone will see even if they haven't seen the show.
Yeah,
and that twists everything up.
Yep. So then they change everything, and it turns out to be junk.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, on a completely different topic, I did think of something that I wanted to address. We came into this podcast, I had nothing on my section of the agenda at all. But I realized that some relatively big headline within the past week or so has been that the Pirate Bay, which you have at least heard of, even if you've never used it, but the Pirate Bay is no more. It is gone. It is shut down. Apparently, the server room in like Sweden or Switzerland or somewhere was raided, and the site came down, and it has not come back up this time. This has happened before, but this time it is gone down. And apparently, I was reading an Ars Technica article about it, and the guy that founded the site was like, "Good, it sucks now."
Right. Yeah, he was saying like they had planned to end it after like 10 years and like let someone else take up the reins, something like that.
Exactly.
And it's like then that didn't happen, and they turned into like just a money grab and all like terrible ads on the site.
Yeah, and very poorly designed. Like it was just ancient technology, really, that was still powering it and displaying it. So
yeah. I saw that.
Actually, rather glad that it went away.
I saw that headline. Like Pirate Bay, like co-founder is happy about it's like why it should be shut down. And I was like, my first reaction before I actually read the facts of the article, as everyone will make some kind of judgment before they know anything.
Right.
Was like he was like, oh, you shut down my site? Good, fine, I'm happy, great.
yeah, fine, yeah, shut it down. Go ahead.
See if I care. It's in the cloud. I can just turn it back on.
Yeah,
but no, like it's actually a
I'm taking
article.
my Pirate Bay home.
What I was thinking was when you were talking about the Pirate Bay and then you said it went down or whatever. I was like, so what you're saying is the captain did not go down with the ship.
Exactly right.
But yeah, like the whole thing is like the Pirate Bay is supposed to be hosted on virtual servers that are somewhere else, and how can you raid one place? And they were saying it was like the load balancers, but if it was the load balancers went down, something else would come up right away, or like within a day or so. But I mean, people are gonna get what they want somewhere else anyway. I don't know if it's gonna do anything really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere else will take up the slack.
Yep. Many other places, as it turns out.
Well, I think we've reached the question portion of the podcast, unless you guys have anything else you wanted to cover.
Well, no, I was going to like talk for about an hour about something, but I mean, I'm just so excited to read these questions, because that's my job here. That's what I'm for.
Alright, well, I think the first thing that we need to mention here is that we've actually received some spam email in the inbox.
It's our first spam.
Are you sure? Because it could just be someone writing a really misunderstanding kind of question, like not quite understanding English and trying their best, but not quite getting there.
Slash, do you want to read something to us and we'll try to answer?
Alright, yeah, sure. All right, let me pull it up. Give me a second. Okay, so the first email that we got, I chuckle every time I pull this up. There is nothing in the email body at all. It is completely blank.
Well, if you can get everything you want to say in the subject, you don't need a body, right?
Exactly. The subject line is very poorly written and missing letters and whatnot, but as best as I can tell, it reads, "Can we partner? I have a project for you. Regards."
I would reply to see what they want. That seems very very lucrative, like a good investment you could make there with who's it from?
It's an Outlook.com email address.
Oh yeah, that's
I think
legit.
It's like the old Hotmail or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like the most random thing I've ever gotten in my inbox.
Well,
honestly.
if they want partner, you should have deal.
I feel like responding with like, "No, go away, regards."
At least they were respectful about it at the end there.
But no, but the even better is the next email that we have here, where with the subject line, "Order urgent," which isn't even the right order for those words.
Well, the order wasn't so urgent. The order of the words.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, but it's...
maybe he made like a list of emails he had to send, and this one was in the order of urgent.
Maybe.
So there were some other ones that were just like, it can wait.
Or he just alphabetized the subject line for you. I don't know.
But this one reads, "Hi, sales, comma. How are you doing today? Exclamation point.
That sounds like capital letters.
I'm so-and-so, and I'm interested in purchasing some of your turf adhesive tape."
You have turf adhesive tape? Guys, I need to get some of that Dem Guys podcast sponsored, or curse, whatever that is. Sorry, go ahead.
But firstly, I want to make an inquiry if you can ship directly to Haiti. Like, of all the places in the world.
Do they need turf adhesive tape in Haiti?
What's that?
Do you think they need a lot of turf adhesive tape in Haiti?
I suppose.
I mean...
Do you accept credit card payment? Can you send me your price if possible? Period. No question mark on that one. I will await your reply ASAP. Which, like, capital A, little SAP, comma, thank, with a capital T, thank you, and God blessed you. That's past tense. Which is my favorite part of that entire email.
God did bless you.
God blessed you. I'm aware of this fact, and I am asserting that fact now with you. God bless you.
I saw it happen. I watched.
I think I can answer his question.
Oh, go for it.
If you go to Spreadshirt.com and look at where they ship, that is where we make our t-shirts. So if they want to know if we can ship to Haiti, that would be up to whether Spreadshirt.com does or not.
You know, I have a feeling that your guys' turf adhesive tape shirts are going to be in high demand pretty soon. So you should design and make those.
Daughter, get on designing that. Right after the listenership shirt.
She's going to hear this and be like, what the hell is turf adhesive tape? It doesn't make any sense. How do I design this?
Oh, man.
I want that shirt now.
Just in big, bold letters. Turf adhesive tape.
And then at the bottom, Dem Guys Podcast. It's DEMGUYSPODCAST.
So yeah, we were very amused by those emails, and I didn't quite know what to make of them when they came in. We will continue on with the questions, and Anar is standing in for Snowshoe, so it is his job to read the questions from
ready.
the spreadsheet.
Okay, so our first question is... Sorry, that was a little aggressive. Let me start over. Our first question today is from Sarah JMCB, who writes, "Hey guys, can you do the entire next episode in a golf whisper? Thanks! By the way, anytime I type podcast into my phone, it suggests I use the word powered after it. I picture a group like the Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles using that as their catchphrase. We're podcast powered!"
Podcast powered. Oh, man.
So can we do the next one? Or wait, no, I'm not in the next one. That's going to be Snow again. Snowshoe. It's going to be...
Snowshoe.
Well, maybe we can keep you around.
That's
maybe.
up to the listenership. We're gonna wait and see what they have to say.
You cannot be the judge of it. This has to be on the listeners and their ship.
Okay, well, maybe I can sway the listeners a little bit. Listenership, I think Anariston does a better job.
Way better than Snow.
Snow will never be able to hear this if he listens, because they're whispering.
You could have Snow back, and his punishment for missing this episode, have him talking to Golf Whisper for the whole episode.
Ooh.
And give him a shock if he misses it. Oh man, autocorrect is the worst thing, probably. Have you guys experienced the terribleness of autocorrect? Have you sent any awful texts accidentally?
I've seen some interesting things. My main problem nowadays is not so much with autocorrect, but I use the swipe keyboard.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
It generally works very well, but you do have to pay attention, because every once in a while you can get some bizarre suggestions for what word it thinks you meant.
I think
my wife is far worse off at texting than I am.
I think my favorite autocorrect word that I've ever seen is, so my mom was
this is going to be good.
But, well, see, she was just typing it in, but it was like, it was, I forget, like, I don't know if it's called other things, but we have T-Mobile. So at least whenever she was doing it, it was called T9 mode, where it was before she had a smartphone.
That's the predictive dictionary.
Yeah, so basically she would just hit
you'd
each
type 223
number.
and it would suggest bad or whatever.
But it'd also be egg or some other 3-letter word with the same letters.
Yeah. So anyway, what she tried to type was, "We're going to the chiropractor."
Oh boy.
And
wait, let me get on my phone and type that and see what it comes up.
What'd you actually get?
The phone did not know the word chiropractor. However,
stupid phone.
It thought that she was that she was trying to say Chipposabuns.
What?
Whatever that is, because apparently that's a word and chiropractor isn't.
Okay, I'm going to try. I actually have a phone with me here with the T9 on it, so let me try chiropractor.
Oh, wow.
If I can remember how to spell that. ACTEROR?
I can type it for you really quick if you want.
I can spell things, that's my job here. It's CHIROPRACTOR, I'm pretty sure. But that comes up on my phone. My phone has that word as a word.
Yeah,
so
I think mine did too. I think it was just hers.
It's possessed by the devil, or by Santa with a $sign. What was it? Chipposabuns?
Chipposabuns.
Oh, okay.
I'll type that one out for you.
Please do. Chipposabuns brand turf adhesive tape. Chipposabuns.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
What can happen with T9 dictionary thing is you can mistype something and then hit a button that'll add that to the dictionary. So that must be what she did a previous time trying to write chiropractor.
It's possible.
The one time that she actually meant Chipposabuns.
Right, because if it doesn't find a match, it'll just let you type whatever letters you're typing.
I have another funny autocorrect, but I don't know if it's inappropriate for the listenership.
Are there other kids out there?
Well, tell it
listening?
and I'll cut it down.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell. So my friend was, I forget what the text to him was, but he said, I do that all the time. So it was PFFT.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And it autocorrected PFFT to orgy. so it was orgy. I do that all the time.
It's like their new catchphrase.
And fortunately, he caught it before he sent it.
Aww.
But we all had a good laugh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wait, who was it? Who was he sending it to?
I think it might have been his girlfriend.
And then she replies that sounds weird, but I mean, if you're into it, let's try it and see what happens. And he's like, I don't know how to handle this now.
Let's move on. We got our second and final question.
All right, from A Million Monkeys. Hey guys, with Christmas just a week away, I was wondering any special holiday traditions, anything unusual or just a bit weird? And on the flip side, what's a common tradition you just don't get, like Santa? What's with that? What's with his dollar sign? He didn't write that last part. A Million Monkeys just ended with Santa. What's with that? So what's with that, guys? What is with that?
I don't know. I'm not even prepared to address that. But as far as holiday traditions on our side, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to judge how unusual a tradition might be from the inside, maybe.
Oh, yeah. You're like too close to it to see it for what it is.
Yeah, I don't think that we have anything too unusual. There's more...
There's like the goat sacrifices, I guess, but...
There's more stuff that has come into being a tradition since I got married. Because my wife brought a lot of traditions in. Like, one of the things that comes from her side of the family is that when decorating the Christmas tree, there's an ornament that's a red bird, like a red songbird, that is the last ornament that gets put on, and it's the man of the house that puts that ornament on.
Oh, so it's like the equivalent of the star, basically, then.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing, but instead of the tree topper, it goes wherever, but it's like that's the last ornament that goes on,
right.
And it is, the husband and father's job to put that on the tree.
So is it like a particular ornament that's been in her family for a while then, or...?
Well, we have two of them, actually. There's two red birds, so I get to put both of them on.
Oh, man.
I forget. The one, I think, is, came... They've come from different places. I couldn't even tell you exactly what the origins are.
So it's not like an antique, something that's like, this is the way you treat this special bird.
Yeah, no, it's not associated with the bird. It's just sort of the thing. Like, it probably just happened to be a thing, a couple of years ago in the family, and it just turned into a tradition as a result of that.
Huh.
So, but that's about the only thing I can think of that we do that might, be a little bit outside of, people's expectations, I guess. Like, it's just...
You're crazy people!
Yeah, exactly. It's just an odd little idiosyncrasy. What about you, Anar?
When we were kids, my sister, I have 3 sisters. We would have a thing. I don't know if we probably like picked it up from TV or something. It was only because we wanted to open presents early, but we made this thing or picked it up somewhere. I don't think it even lasted for very long, but it was a tradition for a few years, I suppose. But like where you could open like one present like the night before or the day before or something, like that you got to choose which one. And I don't know if there were like any kind of stipulations where it's like, oh no, that one's time sensitive. You're not allowed to do that one. Like someone could veto. I don't know if there was a veto situation. I don't think it was that complex. But
that one will explode if you open it before Christmas Day. So that one has to be left aside.
when you said time sensitive, I was thinking like for half a second, and then I realized you're saying, oh, you mean you need to wait longer.
Right.
I was picturing something where it's like a
like
living
a puppy.
animal.
Yeah. It's like, no. You have to open this one the day before. We just put the puppy in this box and wrapped it. There aren't enough air holes. Please open this puppy. Please. No, the whole like do not open before Christmas. Do people still write that on packages and gifts and things? Don't
just
open
in the
before
movies,
Xmas.
as far as I know.
I always saw it in like Looney Tunes and stuff when it was like, or Garfield when he shipped what was it, Nermal, the annoying gray cat.
Yep.
Off to like Abu Dhabi. I for the longest time I did not know where Abu Dhabi was. I thought he made it up.
It sounds made up, but it's an actual place.
I thought that's why it kept coming back, because it's like not a valid address.
The post office was just like, sorry, there's no Abu Dhabi.
So that's my Christmas tradition, not understanding that Abu Dhabi is a country.
See, I can't remember what it is, but Abu Dhabi reminds me of the first planet that they ever go to in Stargate, like when they just like put in a random address or whatever and go.
I know this. What is it?
It's like from the original Stargate movie and everything.
Yeah, they use the same name in the TV show. Oh God.
I know. I don't remember what it's called though.
Oh, okay. You talk about Christmas things, and I will look that up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that. You know what? I know something that apparently is a common tradition that I never heard of growing up. And when I found out about it last Christmas, I was just like, that's weird and kind of creepy. Do you guys know about the Elf on the Shelf?
Yeah, that's like a kid's book that has just come out a couple years ago, probably, or like last year. And it seems like a marketing thing to me.
Yeah, it's been a thing for a little while.
Yeah, but no, when I was working last year, people were buying these things, and it's what they do is they actually have like a little, like, I guess kind of like a stuffed animal thing, but it's like it looks like an elf, but apparently it goes someplace in the house, and supposedly it, like, every day, it just, like, or every night, I guess, while the kids are sleeping, it moves to a new spot. But it's, like, always watching them, and, like, if they do anything bad, it'll tell Santa, and, like, or whatever.
He knows when you are sleeping.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, like, the way it was told to me, like, they were just like, oh, yeah, so it's, like, just, like, it's whatever, but to me, it sounds like some horrible, like, thing that, I don't know, like, it's gonna, like, come to life and eat the children's souls or something, like.
I mean, if you're talking about traditions, like, you know, going back when, you know, Christmas traditions first started, you know, started like a pagan holiday and all that stuff, but, like, and I just know this just recently, like, in, you know, Scandinavian countries and Iceland and everything, you know, like, there's Krampus, like the Christmas demon, who will, like, come and take naughty kids away in his bag, and there's apparently a Christmas cat that if you don't wear new clothes on Christmas, he will eat your kid, or you, as a kid, maybe you'll be eaten by this cat. I'm not quite sure on the details, but there's some really dark stuff in, like, Christmas traditions relating to kids, and it's like, I don't know if it originates from, like, people trying to scare their kids into being good, or if it's just, like, they're, you know, it's like a metaphor for evil in the world, and, you know, these are things you should be careful about, and the world's not this magical place, and Christmas is a good time to learn about that. Why not?
Now, Matt, how do you feel as a parent? How do you feel about scaring your kids into being good?
Well, we own an elf on the shelf, but we don't attach, like, the lore to it.
Right.
We make it a thing where, you know, the kids actually take turns putting it in silly scenarios around the house, you know, so there's no, you know, there's no animation associated with it. It's not doing it on its own.
It's not the weeping angel from Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, that's sort of our choice there, is that we don't really want to perpetuate that, because we've heard stories of, like, kids that are not, that they get traumatized. Yeah. Either by the fact that this elf is there watching them, or even more so by the fact that at the end of the Christmas season the elf has to go away. You know.
Oh yeah.
So some kids are like, you know, they get really emotionally attached
because they think it's like a person, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. They don't want the elf to go away. You know, they like this elf. You know, so we didn't put any of that behind it. We just said, you know, here's a doll. We're gonna, you know, put it in hilarious things and giggle over the funny places that we end up putting the elf. But I have definitely pointed out to them that, you know, you better behave, or you're not gonna find anything under the Christmas tree Christmas morning. Yeah. You know?
Right.
It's
like, alluding to it rather than saying, like, you will be eaten. Like, this cat will come and devour you if you don't have new clothes on. So those socks I got you better wear.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, don't fear for your life kind of thing.
It's like, well, if your kid doesn't have a monster under his bed, don't put one there. Like, don't give them something to be afraid of when they don't have anything already. Exactly. That's not going to make you sleep any better at night. By the way, it's Abydos is that planet. That is Abu Dhabi in your mind. Abydos. You can spell it if you want.
If you want to.
Nah, I'm good. I got to keep it under, you know, a certain threshold, or, you know.
Yeah. You don't want to overdo it.
Or the elf will come.
There was a kid at work the one day, and he was like, well, I guess he was asking his mom, but I mean, I was right there. I was ringing them up or whatever at the register, and the kid was like, where's Santa? Like, what? Or like, when does Santa come to Target or something like that? and the mom was trying to, I forget what she was saying, but I sort of played along with it, and I was like, oh, he waits till we're closed at night, so that way, like, there's not all the people around and everything, and he can just get his work done.
Man, that just, I don't know why, but that just triggered something in my mind, for like a memory from years ago when I was a kid. It kind of relates to the movies from earlier and also lying to your kids. But there was I was at this movie theater, and it was like, I don't know how I was involved in the situation, but there was a dad talking to his son, like little kid, like maybe half my age at the time. I don't know if I was like 10 or 12 or something. But the dad is telling the kid, like, he can't either, you know, go see this movie because it's sold out, or it's not showing or something, or there's something this kid wants, like, to do, like, that is not available as far as the dad is telling the kid. So he's like trying to do this thing. And I'm like, I point out helpfully, you know, like, oh no, you can do this thing, kid. And dad of kid. It's totally cool. You can go do that. You can both be happy. And then the kid's all excited. You can see his face light up. And the dad just looks at me like, thanks a lot. Like, and I'm like, oh no, I fucked up. What did I do? Oh, am I not allowed to swear, by the way? You can edit that out. But yeah, I don't know. That memory like stuck with me. Like, I don't know if it was guilt or something. Just like, oh, I did not pick up on that social clue that this guy was like doing this thing. And I messed up some guy's day. And then he had to either, like, after that, I imagine he had to either tell his kid he can't actually have it, or he had to, like, go through with this thing he didn't want to do. And I just, like, either way, it's a lose-lose situation.
I've almost done that at work, too, where, like, there's a kid, I forget exactly what happens, but, like, something happens where, like, the parent starts to say, like, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that or whatever. And I, like, start to say, like, actually, it's, like, here you go. And then I realize, like, by the look on the parent's face, I'm like, oh, they're saying they don't want their kid to do that, not that by, like Target's rules or whatever, you're not allowed to do that. So.
There is some age at which I was younger than and you were older than, at which you learned this kind of thing, and I was not aware. And I don't know, I think I felt guilty about it for a long time. I mean, it's not my life. I don't know these people. It didn't affect me or anything, but I just felt bad about it for some reason for a while. And I forgot about it for many years, and you just reminded me. So thanks. Thanks a lot.
Not to get up on a soapbox, not to get up on a soapbox or anything, but I've never really agreed with that method of parenting.
Lying to your kids?
Well, it's like, it's very like, I don't want to deal with it kind of thing. It's like, if you don't want your kid to do it, just tell them you're not going to do it because I said so.
Right. You don't need to make up.
If you have to rely on excuses and other reasons for your kid to not be able to do a thing.
You don't have any authority
anyway.
Anyway.
You're not in the proper position of authority over your children.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could be like that could be a fine way to look at it until, like, maybe the wife does it a different way, and then your authority is undermined anyway, and you don't have that option anymore.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, my wife and I agree on almost all parenting options. We have the same approach, so it's that works out well. But I can't imagine
that's another on the top 10 of reasons to be married, then, for you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep, somebody that can help me out with the. with these issues and knows wants to deal with them the same way that I want to deal with them. That's a big plus. Well, anyway,
yeah,
an awkward place to end, but we've got no more content for you, so we're gonna call this an episode.
We're podcast powered.
Thank you guys for listening. Hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year in case we don't talk to you between now and then.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Podcast powered.
Bye.